Okay, we'll try this again. I tried making a video 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times actually, and got just didn't work out. So I wanted to do a quick video here, just to kind of before I do my next video, which will be the ETs and UFO experiences. Just more of a ad lib kind of video, kind of just go with the flow. Um, so. I First I want to thank everyone for watching my videos, subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. I appreciate it. Please continue to share and videos. I appreciate it on Facebook or wherever social media. I don't use social media. I stopped using Facebook just over a year ago for personal reasons, just very negative that I found it for me. But yes, please continue. If I greatly appreciate it. And so, what I kind of just want to do is just go into, you know, things. I'm not going to go into topics of things that are happening in the world. I just feel that's unnecessary. I think most of us realize a lot of the things going on, a lot of earth changes happening. There's all kinds of kind of conflict happening with certain countries across the world, like China, U.S., in the South China Sea, and Russia, Ukraine, and then Middle East. So anyway, I'm not going to go into all that because it has a lot of negative energy attached to it, and I know that stuff kind of triggers people. Besides that, of course, the pandemic and the shot and everything else that goes with it. So I'm not going to go into all those things because we already know what kind of energy is behind that. It just doesn't feel good to me, anyway. Now, I think the biggest thing what I really want to just say is, we're all kind of in this spiritual journey. We're all going through this process, and whether we have thought it was going to go one way or the other, that is, and maybe you thought it was going to go one way and it didn't, and I think we all have been there. I do see this as season of change. It's spring, so it's shifting between winter and summer, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, from summer to winter. So it is a change. It's going to be, I feel, lots of things happening out there. I think there's things, what I've been told from our, my star family is that most of us, how do I want to say it? They said that it will happen differently than most of us expect. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean that the light has won or the planet's gonna whatever. Okay, it's not what that means. Because really, what's happening, if we want to call it, is a shift in consciousness. That's what's happening across this whole planet. Before we all incarnated, whether we were a human soul, a star seed from another realm, or other being that incarnated here, we all agreed to be here at this time. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here if we didn't. We all agreed to take part in this shift in consciousness. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So we agreed, no matter how difficult it has been, or maybe it hasn't been for you. So, but for me, personally, I can say yes, it's been a very difficult challenge, especially the last several years. I do see it as, like I said, a global shift in consciousness, and along that lines, massive, big changes happen. They look negative if you're looking at it from the outside, but it's a breakdown, and I've said this a few years ago, there will be a breakdown of the entire system, entire political, monetary, corporate, everything system, okay? Because it no longer matches the consciousness that most of the planet has, whether the person's awakened or not awakened. There's so many people who think it will go back to normal. It's not going to go back to normal. It won't, because the shift in consciousness is here, and all of us agreed, whether we are awakened or not, to be part of this shift in consciousness. It has been planned way before we incarnated. It's been planned probably over since the planet was started. This is a process of third density, third dimensional planets when they shift in for a civilization to be able to graduate to that next density. Okay, so it is a process, and along with that, there is a complete change over, and whatever that change may look like, whether it looks very negative or heavy, or whether it is a little bit easier change. But because the things that are happening now um, are happening, they look more negative on the outside because there have been, or there are those who have manipulated and controlled this planet for many, many eons, okay? And so they've had their roots deeply embedded in this planet and into every aspect of society, every aspect, every country. So, especially the monetary system, the world monetary system. So, it doesn't matter what system it is. So, this is why it's been so, looks like such, what I say, uh, negative things that are happening. Besides the Earth releasing her energy as well, she has to release all this negative energy. So you can see it in volcanoes and earthquakes and floods and everything else. Yes, I believe a lot of it is, and this is my belief, man-made. But there's a big portion that's not, a big portion that the planet has to release as well. There's cycles that happen. I've talked about that in other videos. So these deeply embedded roots from these so-called groups that have manipulated the planet for so long, they are not giving up. They want to continue to hold to the old. They want to keep what's going. They want to keep and contain it for themselves. They do not want it to move forward into a higher shift of consciousness. So they are fighting tooth and nail to try and stop it. But it doesn't, and so that's why it looks so much negative, so much negativity, so much conflict and that going on, so much push for control over the population, whether that be, you want to believe it, the pandemic, or the shot, or a war, or whatever it is, weather manipulation. It doesn't matter. It's all trying to push for control. But yes, much of it is being done by, like I said, those groups who don't want to give up that control. So that being said, what can we do? We can't control that. We can't control what's happening on the outside, right? We can't. We can control what's happening here, which can affect the outside. We can't go and stop what's happening, maybe, let's say, in China Sea, the South China Sea. We can't go and prevent these things, okay? So for me, it's standing back and say, well, I can't stop it. I can't control that aspect. What I can do, like I said, is how I react to it, or how I deal with my life. And that's what's really important, is to change our way of consciousness and how we want to move forward, okay? Doing what's in our soul path, because these things are going to happen whether we want them to or not, So will we be okay? Yes, everything will be fine. I trust completely in the process in the shift, what's happening, whether that means things get escalated to a point where there is a war. Let's say, I don't know, I'm just throwing, I don't, obviously I don't want any of that, but, and whether we get taken off of here faster, or whether the earth changes, speed up much more drastically, and it becomes unlivable. Okay. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. I just know that one way or the other, the shift will occur. Okay. I believe sooner than later. I think we've all had, and I can go test to this. This is for me only. I can speak of on my behalf, is that, I've had those where I followed groups, certain groups, and followed beliefs that things would happen and they didn't, and that. And it's uh, easy to get sucked into that stuff if you start watching it or start watching what's happening and you get involved with that energy. It's easy to get really addicted, I would say, to that. So I've learned to just back away from it and not look at it. Yes, I do see headlines out there, so I kind of see what's happening. I mainly follow science news and follow what's happening with the um, galaxy and with like our sun and the activity that is happening. I've been doing more research on like the cycles of the solar system, things that they've just come across. I follow a group of scientists in Colorado that I watch their videos. I find fascinating because I find science stuff very interesting to me. So, I focus on that stuff. I focus on to keep my mind occupied. So I believe, yes, it's temporary, this where we're at. I do know, or I've been told at least from my star family, that there will be, once a certain event happens, whatever that event will be, it triggers a sequence of events, one after the other, very quickly. Um, and just like I said, spring is change, spring is renewal, spring is a new direction. Okay, so however it looks, for me, I just be okay with whatever happens because I can't control that. I can't, as much as I want to say, yes, it's going to be this way, I want it that way, it doesn't work that way. We have 8 billion people on this planet, so that's 8 billion people thinking in different ways. And, but it is a shift in consciousness because people have agreed to partake in this. So I just wanted to kind of just share that wherever you may fall on that line, whether you are going through difficult times, there are dark energy, spiritual as well, that's influencing the other aspect of it too. So there's a lot of different aspects involved, things that we can't see uh, are happening in the spiritual realm and the with our star families and things like that. So in the angelic realm, and there's a lot going on. There's a whole lot going on. So not just physical, this physical planet's involved, but it's also the spiritual realm that's involved too with this planet. So there's so much going on. But like I said, the best thing we can do, and this is just from my perspective, is to focus on what I can do to help myself and to help others if they need so. And whatever that looks like, that's the best I can do. And I think that's important for each of us to find what it is that works for each of us. Okay. But remember, everything out there on the outer is distractions. There's distractions to keep us, not us focused on, rather than focusing on what's important within our heart, within us, and how we can change and heal. It's distracting us out there, and that doesn't help here, you know. That's a hard lesson for many people. Maybe, and some people may need that to find, they need to find that out themselves. So I hope everyone's doing well. I just want to do this quick video. Well, not really quick, but and I hope that, you're in wherever you're at, you're in a good feeling, fairly decent, and you're managing as best you can. Just like myself, we're all in it together. So again, I will do the next video after this. I just wanted to come on here and just say, hey, you know, I know it's tough. I know that each of us has our own things going on, but just remain as best you can, and do things, and try not to get distracted too much from who you truly are, because I know I've done it. I've been distracted too many times, and it's easy to do. But thank you for watching. I love you all. Check out my other videos if you haven't, and we will see you in the up and up. Okay, God bless. Love you.